If you want to grow faster on social media, I'm going to explain exactly how to do it. Because the truth is, there are ways to win the game faster if you know what actually works. Now, I study content all day long. I have 1 million followers, billions of views. And after analyzing the top creators, I've realized there are certain tactics that give people an unfair advantage. So in this video, I'm going to break them all down. These are 5 brutally honest truths that will give you an unfair advantage on social media. And I'm going to cover both the strategy and the click-for-click tactics for exactly how to implement each one. All right, here's brutally honest truth number 1. The strategy of you are the niche is the wrong way to approach the content game. And let me explain what I mean. There's a lot of social media gurus that preach the best way to grow is when you are the niche. And what they mean by this is that the way to be unique and stand out is to combine all of your unique interests and make content about all of them. So for example, let's say you love design, baseball, cars, and startups. You as the niche would be to create a little bit of content about design, a little bit about cars, a little bit about baseball, and a little bit about startups. The combination of those things becomes your unique niche versus any one of those topics individually. And the logic here is that there might be others that make content about design, or others that talk about baseball, or a lot of others that make content about cars. But there's nobody else online that makes content about all of them at the same time. It's the Venn diagram logic. And this makes a lot of sense in theory. If I want to be unique, I should create a unique combination of perspectives that nobody else talks about. So I totally get why people believe this. But here's the problem. If you want to build a business on social media, this you are the niche approach will not work. And this is such a common trap that gurus talk about, which is why I wanted to start with it. There's 2 main reasons why this approach doesn't work. The first is that you are the niche assumes most people watch your stuff on social media because of you. It's character-based thinking. And this is what people think in their head. If people like me for me, then no matter what I talk about, as long as I like it, they'll like it. But this is flawed logic. Because the truth is, people don't watch content for you, they watch it for them. People are seeking solutions to their own problems. That's why they look for content. When you're playing the you are the niche strategy, you're thinking in characters, they are thinking in pain points. Of course, they want to like you as the messenger, but they're always in it for the message first. Think about it like this. If somebody struggles with design and they're looking for a specific solution, then in the example we just talked about, they're only going to get value from you 25% of the time. When you talk about baseball, cars, or startups, that isn't helping solve their pain at all. And 25% is a super low hit rate, so it will train their brain over time that your name and personal brand does not equal value when it comes to design. So what ends up happening is those people find and bias towards other creators that talk about design 100% of the time because they have a higher hit rate for solving their pain points. You are the niche makes you somewhat interesting to a lot of people, but super valuable to no one. And this is a huge problem if you're trying to grow on social media and eventually monetize. Now, of course, to argue against myself, there are of course people that watch content just to be purely entertained. They don't need solutions per se, but their problem is boredom. And so the solve they're looking for is raw entertainment or comedy. And there are creators out there that are pure entertainers and they get people to watch for them as the main character. But these creators are the anomaly. They are the outliers, not the rule. The same way that 95% of actors in Hollywood are unemployed is analogous to the 95% of entertainment creators that can't pay their bills. It takes a decade to compound general fandom around you versus around a single topic. And this is because people want entertainment, but they need their problems solved. So again, it's possible to win with you as the niche, but this is hard mode. And at the beginning of this video, I promised I was going to give you a bunch of brutal truths that allow you to play the social media game on easy mode. So if you want easy mode, don't build a content channel around you as the niche. You want to build it around a single topic with high value density. And when I say high value density, what I mean is that every single time you press post, there is a high degree of value that applies to the same type of person over and over. Now, most people hate hearing this advice because we're all humans, we're multifaceted, and everybody has lots of different interests that they like talking about. And I totally get that, but there's a difference between making content to fuel a business and making content to fuel your passions. Take it from me as someone who struggled with this exact same thing for a long time. You are the niche is just a hard way to play. Now to close the loop here, let's say you disagree with everything I just said, and you're like, I've got the best personality in the world, I don't need to focus on topics, people will come and follow me for me. The second reason why you as the niche is not gonna work is because social algorithms are literally designed to push single topic accounts versus generalized ones. Algos do not like variety shows, they like precise, predictable, single topic accounts. So if you violate everything I'm saying and you try to grow with the you are the niche strategy, the algorithm is just not gonna push you as much as it would have. And again, this is because the consistency of giving value to the same avatar over and over and over is its highest priority. Okay, so knowing all of this, what should your tactical adjustments be to your social media content strategy? Because by now, I've went on for 3 or 4 minutes, you're probably convinced that you as the niche is the wrong strategy. So what is the right one? What you wanna do is make a list of topics that you think you'd be interested in talking about for the next 5 years. Now look at that whole list and pick a single one. If you want to grow fast, you need high consistency around that single topic. And I say this a lot in my videos because topic precision is so important. If you've been making a lot of content and you aren't growing, audit your channels to see how many different topics you've been talking about. If they're all over the place, you need to pick one and laser in on just that. Now, if you really want to make content on all of your interests and not just one, make a second channel that's not designed for growth and put all of your videos outside of that one topic on the second one. But you'll quickly realize that that second channel, it's just another thing on your plate that you don't have time for. And when this main one starts growing, you'll slowly stop working on it. All right, now before I go to brutally honest truth number 2, I want to announce something that I've never done before. I'm hosting a live workshop to give away my entire playbook for short form video hooks. If you want to get more views on social media, this workshop is going to be an absolute masterclass for hooks. I'm gonna go through everything. Hook psychology, my formula for hooks. I'm gonna give you a template and checklist for approaching hooks every single video. I'm also gonna go through a bunch of examples, good and bad hooks from all different types of industries and niches, and then explaining why certain ones worked and flopped and how I would have tweaked it. And in this workshop, it's a bunch of stuff that I've never talked about publicly before, never on YouTube and never anywhere else. Now to make this workshop, I've taken everything that I've learned from generating billions of views and also analyzing dozens of my other favorite creators across all types of different categories. You can probably hear it in my voice. I'm trying to make this the best short form hooks lesson ever created. And here's my promise to you. If you apply the learnings from this workshop, I guarantee your videos will get more views and it will drive tons of leads to your business. Now we have super limited spots. So if you want to attend, you can sign up at this link or check the description to get your ticket. All right, now brutally honest truth number 2 that will give you an unfair edge on social media. If you want to grow faster, you should approach the content game like a scientist, not like an artist. Now, before I get into this one and explain what I mean, I want to be super clear. If you're creating content because it's your passion and you're using it as a method of self-expression and you're not trying to monetize, then you should ignore everything that I have to say. Because art does not follow a formula. That's why it's art. Make what you feel, make what you believe in. But if you're trying to use content to build a business and you want to make videos and then get customers to purchase your products and services, then you are in an entirely different category. You are not an artist. You are a scientist that occasionally needs to be creative and gets to spend time in the same arena as other artists. Most people have this fantasy that content has to be purely original and super creative every single time. This, again, is the hard road. Pure originality can work, but it rarely works consistently. And that's because as you as the original artist change, the group that you're making for also changes. It becomes really hard to nail that down over time. Think about the biggest clothing brands in the world. Many of them are often considered the forefront of culture, and people kind of think about them as living art projects. But under the hood, almost all major clothing brands have trend and data teams that are constantly trying to figure out where culture is going in the world so they can predict what to make that people will want. They sell art, but they build it with science. And this is common for every creative industry. Art is sexy, but science is how you actually build a business. So if you want to play the content game on easy mode, you should approach social media like a scientist. Now, what's the difference between a scientist and an artist? And what does it really mean to play social media like a scientist? Well, for one, scientists use data. They form a hypothesis about what they think could work, they test it, they look at the data, and then they adjust their plan. When they find an experiment that works, they publish their findings and run it again and again and again. They then take their winners, triple down, and rule out everything else that doesn't work. They let data be the weather vane, not intuition. Now, I don't have enough time in this video to also break down all of the intricacies of what it would be like to be a scientist in the social media trenches, but if you want me to make a video on just that, comment something like "give me the science" and it will signal to me that I should make that in the future. For now, I will give you the cliff notes of what this means. Social media content really boils down to 4 buckets: strategy, ideas, scripts, and edits. And my mission really is to build the full operating system so that you can approach that whole workflow like a scientist. And that would be the formulas, the processes, the systems, the way to look at the data at every stage and understand what is working and what isn't. Now, I already have a working version of this content system. I call it Content OS. And it's basically the playbook that I've used to grow to over 1 million followers and done billions of views. Now, I don't mention this a lot publicly, but I have the whole operating system broken down in Short Form Academy. It's basically a step-by-step playbook for crushing on social media. So if you want to avoid all the headache, it's in SFA. But I'm going to break down each piece a little bit more tactically for you right here. Now, on the strategy and ideas pieces, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Again, constant originality is the hard way. The best playbook is to find other people that are already targeting your desired avatar group, filter for what's working, and then remix their best stuff to make it better. Now, of course, there are 3 things there that you have to be able to do on your own. Number 1, find the people that are actually winning in your category. Number 2, understand how to measure what winning content looks like beyond just views. And number 3, knowing how to remix those base winners so that you can combine with your own perspective and make super winners. And this structure, this step-by-step ideas approach, it's all part of the Content OS that I built. Now, on the script writing and storytelling front, there is the easy way and the hard way. The hard way is to try to write scripts from scratch or to try to take scripts that exist but then tweak stuff without knowing why you're doing it. The easy way is to just use proven story structures that have already worked across different niches. And we've built this full science-backed storytelling process into sandcastles.ai, and it's already live today. So if you struggle with scripting, just take your raw script or your outline or literally just a single line about the video you want to make, drop it into Sandcastles, and we will do all the heavy lifting for you. So that covers strategy, ideas, and script writing. Now, just to round out the full science-backed process for the 4 pieces, the last piece is the editing. And again, there are several proven visual structures and editing techniques that really drive outsized performance when you use them correctly. And you can kind of mix and match these visual structures with experiments until you find something that works. So for example, if you watch one of my tech short form videos, you can kind of start to see the different visual ingredients or elements that make up that visual structure. Think of these like the individual Lego bricks. You can combine other Lego bricks that I don't use with the ones that I do use and then stack them up in your own visual format to make an edit. So again, to treat content like a scientist, instead of approaching the edit randomly, willy-nilly, you would look at all these Lego bricks, assemble experiments to stack them in different ways, and then test with certain types of videos, look at the data, and then repeat. In a future video, I will go super deep on the editing visual structures as well. And I don't mean to leave you hanging by continually saying, oh, I'll cover that in the future video. It's just that each one of those components, when really broken down to the fundamental level, could be an hour-long video in itself. And so if you want the shortcut where everything I know is documented already, just look at SFA. It's the easiest path. But the moral of the story is this: the people that are winning on social media are approaching it like a scientist backed with data instead of an artist backed with intuition. All right, now the third brutally honest truth, which is actually super helpful, is knowing that you are never too late to start winning on social media. And let me explain this logic that will really change the game for you. Most people assume that every creator that has ever started is still actively making content in the creator pool. So if you were to visualize the content world, you've got 8 billion sets of eyes that are all looking down on this one creator pyramid. And the people at the top of the pyramid, like Mr. Beast or MKBHD, they're obviously the biggest and they have the biggest mind share or attention share of those eyes. And then all the way down to the base layer, which are where new creators with little followings are starting to grow. Now, most people over the last few years have been hesitant to jump into making content because they would start at that first row and look up and see all the people that are above them and think, oh, it's just too crowded. It's way too late. There are so many people dense above me in all those levels. But here's the truth. It's actually not as packed as you think. Less than 1% of creators actually make content because they enjoy the art or craft of it. Almost all of them are doing it for the money or the access or some non-creative reason. And what that means is that most either fail because it took too long and they quit, or they succeed and they graduate out of the content game to go do something else. So to visualize this, if you're in the pyramid looking up from the ground floor, there's really 3 things happening. Yes, there are some people that are starting to level up from level to level, but there are also people that are quitting dropping out of the game, and there are people that have graduated to the top and then are leaving. For example, if their goal was only to make $1 million and they did it, they might decide content isn't for them and they're graduating out. Very few creators actually keep playing for 5 to 10 years because few actually like the process and the work that it takes to create. What this means is that the pool of creators may seem way too crowded above you, but it's actually a lot emptier than it looks. Sure, you'll have people ascend faster than you and kind of speed run the pyramid, but there's always room for high quality content no matter when you start. Also, the 8 billion eyes, that number may be fixed because populations aren't going up, but the amount of attention share per day, hours spent on social media, is actually going up, which means even though the eyes are fixed, there's more and more hours to be consumed. Realizing this is a huge unfair advantage because it lets you know that the opportunity is increasing and the competition is actually weaker than you thought. All right, brutally honest truth number 4 is gonna bother some people. And it's that you're not winning because you're not posting enough. The truth is, if you post high volume and you get better from rep to rep, you cannot lose. And this bothers people because most are actually trying their hardest and they're only able to put out 2 to 3 videos per week and they're frustrated when it doesn't work. Let me just break down a few truths that might help you here. There's only 2 reasons why you're not posting enough volume. The first one is that you don't actually like making content. And so you procrastinate making it because you don't enjoy the process. Well, here's the reality. You don't like it because you're bad at it. And when you get better, I promise you, you will like it more. The only way to get better is to post more. That solves your problem. The second reason, and the more common reason why you're not posting enough, is because you just don't have enough hours in the day to make more content. You might like doing it, but you're just not good enough at it yet, and you don't have enough time to put in more reps to get better. So I totally empathize with you if this is your situation. It's not that you're trying to be bad, you're trying as hard as you can to be good, you just don't have enough time. Now here's the truth. The real reason you don't have enough time is because you're spending too much time per rep and you don't have proper systems in place to be able to make the content faster. It's usually not a lack of interest or dedication, it's a lack of systems. And when I say systems, I mean a few different variables that allow you to get through the content workflow faster. I'm gonna talk about what that means right now. There's 3 system-related things that you can put in place to be able to get through each content rep faster in less time. And those things are training, team, and tools. Now, training is the content operating system that I alluded to earlier. You need to learn how to approach content from a systems perspective. You're not born with that ability, you have to be trained to think that way. But the good news is, this is a learn once and then eat forever situation. Once you flip the switch to think systems first, you're good. When you sit down to make a video, what you want is a foolproof checklist that helps de-risk your effort to make sure you're doing all the steps needed to make the video good. Now, on top of that training, it is helpful to have tools and a team. A team, of course, is human labor, people like editors or script writers. And obviously, these are more expensive, so you're not gonna be able to start with a team. If you have no money to invest in a team, you should at least be starting with AI tools to increase the speed of the workflow on that checklist. Now, I'm building Sandcastles.ai to become the go-to AI content tool. That's my whole mission. But of course, it's only one of many AI tools that are viable. And so to help you, I built a free guide of all the AI content tools that I'm using, Sandcastles and all the other ones, in the guide below. It's completely free, just grab it at the link. But in terms of priority, when it comes to systems, this is how you should stack it up from start to finish. Now, the first step is free, $0, and that is free training. You wanna get as much as you can around that systems thinking as possible for free. This YouTube channel, my channel, is the best in the world at free content for content. A lot of the answers are already in my videos. If you watch, rewatch, study, and take notes, it's already in there. Now, after you consume all the free content, the next step would be tools. I would start using AI tools to speed up the parts of the workflow that take you the longest. Again, get that guide below so you can see which tools that I use. Now, step 3 is a premium training, something that you pay for. You've done the free stuff, you have the AI tools, next is a premium training. The problem with free trainings is it's typically out of order and includes a lot of extra fluff that you don't need. If you're in the beginning, you don't need the advanced stuff. You just need the step by step for where you are in the process. Again, there's lots of people that offer these premium trainings. Most of them are trash. I built Short Form Academy to really just be the best one in the space. I don't push it that much because I give so much one-on-one attention. We really don't have that many spots. So you can try any of them. If you don't want Short Form Academy, you can try some other premium training, but be careful because most of them are garbage. And then fourth, after you've done the premium training, you're gonna start to build a team. So it's free training, tools, premium training, team. When you're building a team, you wanna take the hardest part of the process and outsource that first. Typically, it is editing just because it takes the longest in the workflow. Now, if you've done all these steps, free, tools, premium, and you're ready to build a team, and you want an editor, you want somebody world-class, you don't wanna deal with interviews and having people flake through, I have a link below to a world-class team, but you don't have to use that link. You can go to Upwork or something else and interview and train people yourself. And again, all I'm trying to do is provide all the links and all the routes to get you where you want to go. That's my whole goal with this channel, is to build the tools, build the systems so that you can get where you want to go. So that's the reality. If you're not posting enough volume, it's either because you don't like making the content or you don't have enough time to make it. Both of those problems are solved with systems. All right, I was wrong. I said the fourth brutal truth was going to bother some people. Actually, this one, the fifth one, is going to bother way more people. The fifth brutally honest truth to give you an unfair edge at social media is that you don't need to watch more, you need to make more. And this goes hand in hand with what I said in number 4. You're not posting enough because you don't have enough time to make stuff. And you don't have enough time to make because you're spending way too much time consuming, strategizing, researching, and doing everything except for making. If you're listening to 5 to 10 hours of podcasts per week, you're doing it wrong. Now I have this thing, it's called a brick. I literally lock my phone during the day so I cannot use it. Boom, focus problem solved. I like to approach my life in 2 seasons. I have a gather season and a go season. In gather seasons, you're sprinting to gather as much data and research and comps as you can. You're really just trying to sift through what is working for other people and what should I do. And in gather seasons, it's okay to scroll and consume podcasts and listen to research because that's your time to ingest options. Your goal is for gather seasons to be as short as possible. Now in go seasons, it's time to make only. You want to mute everything. Do not listen to anything. You already know what you need to be doing, so you don't need to spend any time gathering. I use that brick device as much as possible when I'm in go seasons because I'm trying to get as much focus as I can on the doing. And of course, your goal is to make go seasons last as long as possible. Now, the truth is, the reason you spend more of your time watching instead of making is because watching is fun and making is work. And everyone would rather do something fun than work. This is obvious, but the people that are able to spend more of their time working instead of consuming, those are the ones that win. All right, now if you know me and you watch my videos, you know that I'm never done with the initial count of the list that I say in the intro. To be honest, I have to pick a small number in the intro because people get scared when the list is too long. So here at the end, I'm gonna rapid fire 5 more brutally honest truth, really quick, rapid fire, that will give you even more of an unfair advantage than we already did. And this video has kind of been part mindset, part tactics, part framework, so we'll keep it going in that vein. All right, bonus truth number 1 is do not compare yourself to an elite content team that is playing a different game than you are. What I mean by this is many of the personal brands, creators, and teams that you see flooding your feed, they're playing this content game like professionals. They have dozens of people on their team that are socially engineering the algorithms using clipping farms, paid and organic, all these advanced strategies that you would never be aware of. They are beating you on volume, quality, and iteration speed. They're moving faster, they're shipping more, and they're changing and improving even faster than you are. People like Gary Vee, Stephen Bartlett, Grant Cardone, even Hormozi. These are people playing on a professional level. Do not copy or try to compare yourself to these people because you are a pee-wee football franchise compared to the NFL. Now you can idolize them, but if you compare yourself to them, your self-worth and more importantly, your decision for whether you should continue is going to be constantly disappointed and out of whack. Instead of using them as a representation for what good is, try to pick somebody who's playing the game similar to you. If you're a solo maker, find another solo maker that's going faster than you and try to emulate them. This will be a more realistic target for you to emulate because you really want a rabbit to chase that keeps you motivated, not devastated. Most people that are on step 1, they overthink because they compare themselves to people on step 50, 60, 80, 90. This makes it feel like the gap is so insurmountable, why even start? Instead, you should just block or mute those people if they're gonna make you feel bad and compare only to people that are on step 3, 4, 8, or maybe 10 at the max. All right, bonus truth number 2 is that you should just pick one platform, one content format, and go all in on that for 6 months. If IG Reels is where the highest density of your preferred audience is, perfect, just pick that. And that means the strategy is done and you can just focus on go mode for 6 months. The compounding will be the fastest if you can fully immerse yourself in the full platform zeitgeist of one place. Because the truth is, it's easier to be great on one surface than it is to try to split yourself across multiple. Take it from me, someone who did split themselves a little too soon, it's very hard to play 2 games at once. Now, a good example of someone who did this really well is my friend Roberto. He makes the best short form tech content out there. And we were talking and he was basically like, I'm just gonna own Instagram tech. And he tripled down and he did it. He blew everyone away, outgunned everybody by really militantly focusing on that full platform, and he's the best. Picking one platform and going all in is the easiest way to dominate and become known for that platform and that medium. All right, bonus truth number 3 is that people buy based on trust. And this is really important. People buy from you when they have a high confidence that their money will buy the answer to the pain point that they currently have. So to get them to buy, you need to make consistent content about that topic set over and over and over to give them a sense that they have that high trust. All they're trying to do is de-risk their decision to zero. Zero risk. If I give you the money, I get the solution. That's all you have to do. So if you want them to buy, just make sure they have the trust that you have the answer. And a great way to do this is just say the answer in your free content. Because really, they're not buying the general answer, they're buying the specific answer customized for them. For example, if you watch my videos and you have even an ounce of doubt that I don't know what I'm talking about with content strategy, then I haven't done my job. And the truth is, if people doubt, then it means you either don't have the proof or you didn't have the clarity in your messaging to signal that you know what you're talking about. So here's the tactical tip. When you watch your content back, you want to run the $1,000 trust test. Have someone in your ICP watch the full video and then ask them, would they pay $1,000 to solve the problem talked about in the video? Ask them what that problem is. If they don't state the problem that aligns with what your offer or solution provides, you have a mismatch and you're not communicating effectively. All right, brutally honest truth number 4, you should make your content with slightly faster pacing. The average human brain attention span is getting slightly shorter and the speed of consumption is going slightly higher. They don't feel it, you don't feel it, but it's happening. Because of this, people get bored quicker when you talk slower. And when they get bored, they churn. You will win more if you can speak and edit slightly faster than the typical average baseline pacing. And I know this sounds counterintuitive, but it's the truth. And I'm not necessarily talking about in the edit using cracked out graphics or animation. I'm just talking about the pace of delivery of your voice. And here's what this means. I've referenced this metaphor a couple times in other videos, so if you saw it, I apologize. Think of the content world like a highway. Everybody driving on the highway is a little car that represents each viewer, and they're all going at a typical speed that they like driving their car. If the average blended speed of all the cars on the road in 2010 was 30 miles an hour, well then in 2020 it was 32 miles an hour, and in 2025 it's 34 miles an hour. Certain platforms are faster than others, but the average speed of all the cars is slowly drifting higher. People are getting shorter and shorter attention spans. This means if you're used to making content at 30 miles an hour, well then 30 miles an hour today in 2025 is a little bit too slow. You need to up that speed a little bit more. If you can do this and make this adjustment, I guarantee people will watch your videos more. All right, and bonus truth number 5, the last one, is that ideas always win. In the content process, ideas matter more than any other aspect. And this ideas piece is the part that people gloss over the most always. Everyone thinks they have great content ideas, but almost no one has a criteria set or a way to explain what makes an idea great. The truth is, most people spend time making content like a pyramid. Ideas, they spend the least amount of time, and then scripts, and then the most amount of time in the edit. This should actually be inverted. You should spend the most amount of time on ideas, and then script and storytelling, and finally editing with outsourcing or batching. There is so much rigor that could be added to idea mining, idea development, and idea research. The people that are winning, that you emulate and look up to, they're spending tons more time than you on the idea. All right, guys, that is all I've got for this video. That was a long one, but hopefully that was super helpful for you. As a recap, we studied 5 brutally honest truths that are designed to really give you an unfair advantage when you're playing on social media. My goal is simple. If you watch this channel, I want you to be able to beat anybody that you're competing with in your niche on social. You have an edge with this content if they're not watching it. So let's recap the 5 brutal truths one more time so you have the walkaway value right now. The first one is that you are the niche. It's a hard way to play on social media. Instead, pick a single topic and laser in on that. Number 2, you should be approaching content like a scientist, not like an artist. And we broke down a bunch of ways for why that's true. Number 3, it's never too late to jump into the social media game. And that's because the amount of attention is increasing and the competition is actually a lot weaker than you think. Number 4, you're not winning because you're not posting enough volume. And you're not posting enough volume because either you don't like making content or you don't have the time to do it. Both of those things are solved with systems, team, tools, and training. And number 5, you need to stop watching and start making. Live in seasons of go, not seasons of gather. And then, of course, we went through the 5 bonus truths. Number 1, don't compare yourself with other content teams that are playing a different game and that are out of your league. Stay within your league. Number 2, if you're struggling, pick a single content platform, single content format, and dominate that first before expanding. In, then out. Number 3, people buy based on trust over everything else. So you want to max out your trust, clarity, and proof in your message. Number 4, the average speed of consumption is slowly increasing, 30 miles an hour, 32, 34. So if you want to have have more success and you don't want people to churn, start talking a little bit faster and start editing that pacing a little bit tighter to hold people's attention. And number 5, ideas always win. Ideas are the most important thing that you're overlooking. Create an idea system for mining, researching, and developing, and that will help level your content up. All right, as always, if you like this video, leave a comment and let me know what you want to see more from me. I literally lost my voice talking in this video. I'm doing everything I can to make these valuable. Please leave a comment and let me know if you liked it. And remember, I have so much free stuff linked below. I've got guides, I've got groups, I've got trainings. Everything is linked below. If you want to join my free content community, Wavy World, entrepreneurs, builders, creators, it's up to almost 22,000 people. It's free. I got a free invite for you there if you want to join. Until next time, we will see you guys then. Peace.